Hi Nick, I'm Martin Christie. Looking forward to playing the Bath event very much on the 1st of March.
Well, Martin, we have to start with the elephant in the room, which is you are kind of essentially responsible for the whole EMOM movement. You know, you started things off in, I think, January 2017, which was an inspired move.
Yes, it was something I've been thinking about for a couple of years, and like a lot of those ideas, it's sort of at the back of your mind. I'd had chats with various people about doing it, and then something came up at a venue called Fuel in Manchester, and they were looking for different types of events. And I thought, well, you know what, I'll give it a whirl, see what happens. And I was kind of blown away, really, by the number of people who turned up, wanted to play, and the diverse range of genres and musical approaches, technological approaches that kind of sort of hit us on the night. So we had to think about 12 or 14 acts. Starting at 7:30, it was pretty stressful. Finishing about 11:30, and getting through them all and trying to get everybody a slot to play was stressful. But I kind of enjoy that, you know, that pressure and chaos. Really, not a lot of people don't enjoy that. You know, they sort of design their nights accordingly. But
yes, well,
I quite like the unexpected chaos.
Your setup's very self-contained from what I've seen. I mean, it's pretty much a Deluge and a couple of other bits and bobs. Is that right?
That's right. At the moment, yeah. I mean, historically, I've had a teenage engineering kit that I've used, again, in that kind of songwriting context. And then prior to that, when I first started the EMOM nights, I was just using a Korg Chaosilator. It was literally sort of a £40 bit of kit that I found I could do all sorts of at the time. They're a bit long in the tooth now, but they were a good invention at the time. And then I was using, alongside that, I started using the Chaosilator Pro. So I've had sort of phases of different technology, but I really enjoy the Deluge and the depth that you can go into the Deluge. It's like an open book, really. It's incredible. I probably only scratched the surface of it because, again, when you're kind of coming from the songwriting side, you're sort of looking for melodies and beats and then adding your own lyrics and melodies and vocals on top. And there seem to be less vocalists around at the moment. Most of the EMOM nights I go to, apart from London, we don't get that many vocalists.
Do you use the Deluge to process your voice, or have you got external stuff for that?
I use, at the moment, I'm using a VT-4, Roland VT-4, which is quite a simple box that gives you the harmonies, can do various sound effects on the vocals, can play around with pitch shift. And then I feed that through at the moment a little foot pedal made by Chase Bliss company. It's called Habit, and it's like a delay pedal, but it sort of randomly delays the words and the vocals and feeds them back at you at various points. It's quite hard to control, but again, I kind of like that because it gives that live element. Every time you use it, it does something different.
Well, I mean, like you say, you're quite unusual in the fact that you perform song-based or lyrically based pieces which have a beginning, middle and end. So there's a structure to it, which is for a lot of people the structure is the hard thing to get any form of, because there's lots of improvisation as well.
I mean, intros, outros. Intros I'm okay with. Outros are sometimes difficult on a EMOM night if you've got limited time. You think, how am I going to end this right now? So sometimes I've literally just press stop and let the Chase Bliss carry on doing its random vocal stuff. So we'll see how that evolves. But structure wise, because a lot of what I write, I come from a poetry background as well. A lot of what I write intends to have some kind of meaning. So the structure kind of follows the words and the phrases that I'm using quite often.
So what's your approach to performing? Do you have a kind of a way to get prepared? I mean, do you try to project? I mean, do you have a sort of a way that you approach it?
Practice. Just keep going through things so that if stuff goes wrong, I'm ready for it as much as you can be ready for things going wrong. And yeah, I've got a basement where my studio is, so I tend to sort of jump around in there a bit, let off a bit of steam. I've always sort of felt audience engagement is quite important for me as an artist. So I do try to sort of think of that when I'm performing, try to engage with an audience, which again isn't necessarily the approach that a lot of electronic musicians take, which is fine. You know, we need that kind of range of activity. It's just, you know, because a lot of my stuff is kind of lyric based, has a message, I do try to engage with the audience and make them feel part of a journey if I can.
Well, Martin, I'm really looking forward to your performance tonight, and thanks so much for talking to us.
Oh, no, you're welcome. It's been great. Cheers for that, Nick, and see you at the EMOM.
Well, hello, everybody. How are we all doing? Hey! It's EMOM number 4, and it's nice to see some familiar faces here. Great to see you all coming out on this grotty evening, which was pretty bad. And thanks to all our performers who've travelled a very long way, and all of the crew who've nearly had heart attacks getting it ready in time, but it's been fine, honestly. So what we want to do is we're going to start off with Martin Christie. Martin is, in fact, the man who started this whole thing. I mean, he started this whole movement. So massive round of applause for Martin.
Cheers, all.
And Martin will also be emceeing a bit later on as well. I thought it's only fitting that I should introduce you.
I've learned a lesson about emceeing as well when you're online, is not to drink 6 pints during the course of the evening, so you end up slurring your words by the final act.
Yeah.
Now, you tell me by the end of the night if I've had too much, won't you? Please do.
Yeah, right. That's the problem, isn't it? Okay, right. Well, we've got the live stream running. I think everything's going. It's been a little bit breakneck at the last minute. Just want to say, if you're interested in performing, do come along. You know, if you click the show link, we'll put a link in. Come along, see if it's for you, and then you can submit via the interwebs if you're interested in coming along, and we encourage you. And also we encourage you to check the Patreon, because there'll be 360 video, there'll be additional interviews. Sorry, Mike, we forgot to play your interview at the beginning of ours, but that will be on the Patreon, don't worry. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
probably a good thing.
Martin Christie.
Thank you. And thanks for Nick and the team for putting this fantastic night on. It's great to be here. I've watched this several times now online, and I thought, I've got to get to that. I've got to get to the Bath EMOM, Sonicstate EMOM, because it looks such fun, both online and in the room, and actually being here in the room as well. All these lovely people and friendly faces and people I've known as well through the years of going out and about and playing electronic music badly in lots of different places. So I'm going to start with a piece. I've got my words here. I'm quite embarrassed actually, because they're probably on the camera. I should have learned my words by now, but I haven't put that effort in. I'm so sorry, but they are here for anybody that can see them online to read, just for interest, because I'm into my kind of poetry, lyrics and stuff, and I mix that in with electronic music, and that's what I've been doing for years. That's why I started the EMOM thing, really, because I was going to a lot of open mic nights, and I might have been using an OP1 teenage engineering device or a K-oscillator, and didn't quite fit in with all the acoustic singer-songwriters that were there. And they would often say, well, yeah, it's really good to have something weird. And I thought, is it really that weird? It's just writing songs with different bits of kit. And that's why I started the nights back in 2017. So I'm going to start with this piece, which is dedicated to anybody who, as a result of work, has found themselves at the Travel Lodge on their own, wondering what to do with themselves at 6 o'clock, and thought, I'll go and have a pint down in the bar. This is called A Lonely Pint at the Travel Lodge. I'm sat drinking a lonely pint at the Travel Lodge. The barman gave me the glass and didn't say a word. So I get to thinking I must look like some kind of loser. A loser or a loner, supping on a lonely pint. And it's very overwhelming, very overwhelming, it's very overwhelming now. Now Connor knows a place where we can all go to get wasted. He's been going on about it ever since we were kids. And I've been spending time thinking about our friendship. We go back years and anyway, I'll see you later. And it's very overwhelming, very overwhelming, very overwhelming now. Very overwhelming, very overwhelming, it's very overwhelming, very, it's so very overwhelming. I'll see you. Brady has a secret app on his mobile phone. I only know 'cause I saw him checking it one time. Now he's the kind of guy you don't call out unless you want treatment. I've already got more trouble than I care to mention. You missed it, 'cause it's very overwhelming, very overwhelming, very overwhelming now. Very overwhelming, very overwhelming, it's very overwhelming now. It's so overwhelming. I kind of couldn't think how to stop that though. So I just pressed the stop button on the Deluge. Outros are always such a problem. You can do fade outs. That's a good outro. Or you can just end it on a beat. Or a clap. Who knows? Or a bum note. Yeah. Was there a bum note there? Yeah, probably was. And so changing the kind of approach here. This is a piece all about something that happened in my hometown. I've come down from Holmfirth today. If any of you know Holmfirth, it's in near Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. And it was literally snowing when I set off. Has it snowed here in Bath at all? Hold on. No? No snow. I thought, am I going to make it down to Bath? But the god of traffic looked down upon me, and the M1 was clear after Sheffield, and the M42 was clear, and then what's that next one that drops down from there? M4? M5 was clear, and then over to Bath, which was amazing actually. I was super lucky. But this is a piece all about something that happened in my hometown involving some young guys who'd got, it's a sad story, they got themselves some e-scooters zipping around town like crazy and ended up, unfortunately, one of them didn't survive an accident. It's called Flowers on a Lamppost. Flowers on a lamppost in the rain, remembering a wasted life lost in vain. And I'm thinking this year's been like no other. Brain fog excuses for another. Flowers on a lamppost after dusk, the petals falling broken to the dust. A government moves too slow, too fast to make a change, and pockets aligned with COVID gold again. Flowers on the floor outside the shop, and sometimes someone notices and stops. Billionaires create flights above a dying earth, charge millions to take part in its decline. Charge millions to take part in its decline. Such a shame. Islands in the someone will stop. The only truth is knowing there is no truth. We live our lives surrounded by these lies. We live our lives surrounded by these lies. Flowers on a grass. I'm all tried out, yeah. I'm all tried out. I'm all tried out, yeah. I'm all tried out, tried out, tried out. I'm all tried out, yeah. I'm all tried out, tried out, tried out, tried out, yeah. Tried out, yeah. Tried out, yeah. Tried out, laugh if you want to. The tears of sadness, 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 sadness. The tears of joy, 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 and nothing, nothing. As much as much, as much, as much, as much, as much, as much, as much. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks for being lovely. Some dark moments and some light moments, I hope, in that 15 minutes. Have a wonderful evening, folks. Cheers for listening.
Martin Christie, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Martin. That was lovely. I'm so glad you got to come down and do it. We're going to add a new bit, which is kind of talk a little bit about the equipment. Your stuff can be found. There are links all over the live stream. Thanks for the live stream watchers. It all seems to be working okay. Phew, sigh of relief. So, Martin, what you're just basically a Deluge, a voice programmer, a voice processor, and a... Yeah, I'm using the Deluge. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Deluge. I was just trying to shove it in your faces there. It's a very dangerous thing to do, actually, because you can end up pulling out the settings anyway. Running on batteries as well. It's running on batteries, yeah. I kind of prefer that if I can get away with it. I've got a power supply, but it's just easier. And then, of course, vocals being a big thing of what I do, I'm putting them through a Roland VT-4 voice transformer, which gives you the nice kind of nice. I don't know why I like that one. Maybe nobody else does. And strangely, the Chase Bliss Habit, which is a kind of instrument foot pedal, really, but I thought I'd try and use it by means of chopping up the vocals in a random fashion. Yeah. That was the idea of it, really. Doesn't it just? So if you've got a lot of poetic, if you're into your poetry, which I am, your concrete poetry, kind of chops things up in a random way. And that was the idea, really, for this. It's a little bit uncontrollable at times. But that's part of the fun, isn't it? You know, predictability is boring sometimes. Martin, thank you so much. Cheers. Martin Christie.